Hi guys on YouTube, Mary or Hard Left Yogi. So what are we doing today? Today we are working on our neck and shoulders. Why? Because I need it, right? Trust me, every time you do a yoga class, it's because the instructor needs it. So let's talk about head and shoulders. One of the things that happens with our head and shoulders is that our heads drop forward, and that puts a lot of tension on our back muscles. It also weakens and tightens our chest muscles. And so, what we're looking for, we call it insolent teenager. So, you've ever had a teenager like cut you a look and draw that head back? That's what we're looking for. So, not only am I drawing my chin back, but it's slightly dipped, not dropping down, but just slightly dipped. What will happen then is these little Vulcan death grip muscles will loosen up. One of the ways that you can test this for yourself is if you'll grab that little Vulcan death grip muscle and push your elbow forward, you'll feel how tight that little muscle gets. Then you can take your hand on the end of your elbow, push it back, and you'll notice that this muscle relaxes. So what happens is our heads roll forward. We have basically two collarbones, for lack of better terminology at this moment, that roll forward. When that does, it kind of locks our neck in like a keystone in an archway. Once those shoulders are rolled forward, then the head can't really even slide back. So what are we doing? Once again, we're looking for that like insolent teenager, and we're looking for the shoulder heads to draw back. When you work in an office or do any kind of driving or seated positions, quite often it is this rounded position. Also, cell phones, social media, this is causing this concaved head forward position, which your head doubles in weight for every inch forward it goes. So today's class is all about that. You'll hear me cue insolent teenager, draw your chin back. You'll hear me to drop your shoulders. You'll hear several cues throughout this class that will remind you of what we're trying to do. So those of you who are new to yoga, I highly suggest pick one thing out and focus on it in class. Not only will it help realign your body, but it's really the point of meditation, because one pointed focus becomes concentration, which becomes meditation. So focusing on where your head is has more to do with alignment and meditation than just like getting the best posture you can. So if you guys are ready, join me on your mat. If you do not have blocks or rollers or something like that, you can get a soup can, you can get a book. But one of my favorite ones to take to class, because I'm pretty short, I don't necessarily need a full block all the time. So I enjoy using little half blocks sometimes. Gives me a little extra lift. So I will be using half blocks, and then I will also be using my roller. When I break my roller apart, I'm going to set it up so that it can help my neck and shoulders. If you don't have one of these, you could use a rolled up towel. Realize that you'll have to change the shape of it. You might need it a little bit bigger for your back of your neck, maybe a little smaller for your low back. So let's go ahead and start off laying down. What a wonderful way to start a yoga class, right? So I am going to take my half round and set it up so that it's perpendicular with my mat, and then I'm going to take my other half round and create a T shape with that. What I would like to do here is settle the one in between my shoulders, yes, and then get it to where this like dip at the base of your skull can wrap over so that the occipital bone, or that little pointy bone at the back of your head, can be on the floor. I'm going to take my hands, rotate my palms to the sky. Those of you who want to keep your knees up for low back issues may do so. If you want a little more intensity, you can take the soles of the feet together, or somewhere in between, legs would go down the mat. So you decide what you need. From here, I'm going to focus on allowing the broadness of the collarbones to increase with each inhale. With each exhale, I'm going to feel as though there's sandbags on my shoulders, helping the shoulder heads drop towards the mat. Not just drop, but literally roll away from the ears as I do that. So go ahead and just take a few breaths in. Don't try to change it. Don't try to form it to anything in particular. And just begin to notice where the breath goes. Do you have some tightness or stuttering in the breath as you breathe here? Slip walks out of my way. And so as I lay onto my blocks, I also want my neck to feel a little bit tractioned over the edge of the roll. Each inhale, the collarbones grow broad. Each exhale, the shoulders grow heavy. Maybe you notice the breath becoming more fluid. Maybe you notice the breath growing longer, more expansive. Each exhale, noticing your body mold over your rolls, becoming heavier and heavier with each exhale. With your breath, if you'd like to roll your head slightly left and right. And then bring your arms overhead, extend the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms to the wall above you. And then lightly rotate the big toes inward towards each other. So notice if your knees are bent, you can roll the toes in and squeeze the knees together. If your legs are wide, then go ahead and press the knees down and press the big toes together. Or if you prefer to do it with your legs long, allow the big toes to roll in. Feel the low belly sink towards the mat as the palms press. Take another big inhale in, hold here. And then exhale, release the hands. We're going to take the hands, interlace the fingers again naturally, because we have a natural grip. But this time I'd like you to change what finger is on top, because you do it the same way every time. So now we're going to do that same thing over again, and just notice how different your fingers weave and how different the press feels. So whatever your legs were before, whether they were bent, butterflied, or straight, get that action of the inner spiraling, allowing the knees to come in if your feet are flat or straight. If your knees are open, then really activate those muscles by trying to press the knees more towards the earth. Big toes together. Big breath in. Exhale, release everything about your posture. We're going to take ourselves slightly over to the side so we can roll off of our setup here. All right, wonderful. All right, so from here, I'm going to just bring my props off to the side. Those of you who have wrist problems, I highly suggest getting something that you can grip onto. I like a little bit of foam, but not too much, so the wedge is, or the round is appropriate for this today. But as we move our shoulders, we want to think about sequentially moving through our spine. So remember what I said is moving the head back and forth and moving the shoulders. Trying to do those in order will free it up more. So as we do our cat-cows, I'd like you to start at the tailbone. As you exhale, start at the tailbone as it articulates down. Draw in, feel each little vertebrae. As it comes up, you come into the back of the head, and then you really, really tuck the chin. So now as I go through my cow face pose, I'm going to feel my shoulders drop as my head comes up. As my head comes up, I'm going to allow that tailbone to come up. Feeling that start at the tailbone, even utilizing your feet to press down as you arc the spine up high. And then allowing that belly to drop, the shoulder heads to roll back. Feel the insolent teenager even come in here. So it's as though I'm drawing my face away from the mat as though it smells bad, right? Pulling it back. And then lifting up, curling. You'll notice the shoulders will stay out of your ears more. From here, go through your own breath. As you exhale, it's around. As I inhale, it drops the belly. I like having my hands up on these rollers as I round because I feel like I can really get it into the shoulder head with my hands lifted up a little higher. Continue on if you would like to add some like tawny contain on top of that white snake Trans Am little head circles, right? I'm dating myself with my cues, I know, right? All right, so finish out, maybe even do a little left to right, little C shaping in the spine where I'm looking at the ankles. Right. And then from here, I'm going to come back. I'm going to sit on a little prop. Why? Because I like it. I can sit flat on the floor, but why do that if I can sit up a little bit? So I'm going to sit back onto my block. I want to feel as though both of my sit bones are rooted down. I'm going to take my left hand. I'm going to bring my left hand behind my back so that my palm is facing outward and the back of the hand is moving between my shoulder blades. As I do this, I'm going to make sure that this elbow is really close. If this little chicken wing is out, it's never going to make it to between your shoulders. So as I draw the elbow in, then the hand will go deeper between my shoulder blades, as such, right? So with this, I'm going to allow my head to now drop over to the side. And so I'm dropping away from the shoulder. I'm feeling that nice little stretch in the top of the shoulder head. Notice whether your shoulder is rounding forward, your back is rounding. See if you can push your sit bones down as you take a deep inhale in. Feel the stretch intensify across the top of the shoulder blade, maybe even into the shoulder head and alongside of the neck. As you exhale, rotate your chin towards the collarbone. Stay here. Take another inhale, feeling the breath come along the back of the neck through the top of the shoulder head now. And then exhale. Let the head come neutral again. And then if you would like to do a little gentle forward and back, side to side movements, just be really, really soft on your neck. Make it more of a morning stretch. You're not trying to overly do it. You're trying to feel as though you just got up in the morning and you're like, oh, that feels so good, right? So once you get all those little bugs starting to work out of the shoulder, I'm going to ask you to come up. From here, we're going to turn our head left to right. Seems like such a simple thing, but trust me, I prefer you being able to turn your head as you age and drive, right? Keeping your peripheral vision healthy. Guess what? We got two sides, not my fault. So we're going to take that left arm across our chest, use the right palm, bring it in just a little bit. Should feel the stretch all along that outer arm. Make sure you're not dumping forward. Two sides. So once again, this time the right hand's going to come behind your back. It's going to come up in between your shoulder blades to the best of your ability. The little chicken wing is very close. From here, I'm going to drop my ear to the opposing shoulder, or you'll notice one side likes you better than the other. With each inhale, you'll feel the expansion along the sides of the neck. And then as you exhale, rotate your chin towards the collarbone, feeling the stretch come along the back of the neck a little more. With each inhale, feeling the stretch intensify. With each exhale, feeling the drop of the shoulders, the release and lengthening of the muscle. Now your next exhale, you can come neutral. You can continue to do a little left and right, so little chin dips. Be really, really gentle. The muscles in your neck are super small and fine, and so are the vertebrae, so it doesn't need much force. Wonderful. Come up center. I'm going to rotate so that you can see this view now. So from here, I would like you to take your hands behind your head like so. Elbows out wide, sit bones rooted down firmly. Drop that chin, get that insolent teenager on, and press your head back into the hands. What you'll notice is as you do this, you'll feel the necessity of those shoulder blades to drop into their pocket. It's much like bird wings tucking in. So if you drive or you have the type of chair that comes up high, you can press your head back and you can start to feel the release of those shoulders and that neck, and sequentially your jaw as well. For 4. And so get a little bit of a muscle memory for this. I'd like this to be like a point of action as we go through our flow, even when we go into our down dog. So feel the space here and notice if we can maintain this action of upper abs, shoulders, this moving back position. Yay. All right, guys. So we've kind of gotten some foundational muscle movements in there, and we're going to start our practice. So let's go ahead and start at the top of the mat. I tell people if you are back injured or pregnant, it's about 2 fist distance between your feet. Generally, we're looking for our shins to be parallel. We're creating 11s. Those of you who are traditionally trained or do not have back issues, big toes are together with little space between your heels. From here, I'm going to feel that pull back, that drop of the shoulders, even as I lift the arms up. As you inhale, reach up. Notice my shoulders are down. As I exhale, I place my hands down onto the earth. Those of you who have limited range of motion can put it onto the blocks. As you inhale, you can come partway up. Some of you will enjoy your shins. I like being able to press down so I can activate those shoulder heads back and draw the belly in. From here, I'm going to exhale, place my hands down, step back with my left foot. Step back a good medium step on the ball of the foot, bend the knee. From here, press through both feet, extend through the back of the neck, take those shoulders back, take those fingers back, create a long line from the crown of your head to your heel. Draw your belly off the front thigh. Take a deep breath in, keep the shoulders back. Exhale, place your hands down onto the mat, move back to your first down dog. So once again, feel as though you have that same distance in the sides of your neck, through the tops of your shoulders as you move into this down dog. Pedal your feet, wag your tail, turn your head side to side, but don't feel as though you're crowding your ears with your shoulders. There's a nice long neck here. Do any other little movements you enjoy. Head is on a swivel. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to roll to a plank. I'm going to ask you to drop to your knees. Even if you can do a chaturanga on your toes, please drop to your knees just for this first go round. I want you to feel as though that insolent teenager, that mat smells really bad. As you pull yourself forward, it's as though your face is resisting going to the mat. Your shoulders are moving back, tops of your feet pressed down. From here, I'm going to straighten my legs. Take that little bit of cow posture from the low back all the way up. My shoulders roll back, then my head rolls back. As I drop to my knees, I'm going to shift back to a child's pose. As I take my child's pose, I'm going to tent up onto my fingertips as though I am Thing from Addams Family. Crawl those fingertips forward, keeping the palms cupped. Press the forehead down. Once again, press the forehead into the mat. See if you can feel the broadness come across your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, keeping that broad shoulder blade. Exhale, palms come to the earth, rolling up and exiting to a down dog. Take an inhale, and left leg will go high. Exhale as left foot swings up between hands. For a lot of people, the foot will stop way back here. That is fine. A lot of it is length in your arms. I'd like you to bring your blocks in so that you can bring that foot up so that you're not standing on the ball of the foot, but the foot is firmly planted for all your lunges. On your inhale, we're going to take that long spine. We're going to swing those arms back once again. Notice I'm drawing the shoulder heads back. I'm drawing the chin in, bringing that whole face back. As I place my hands down, I'm going to step to the top of the mat, curl in towards my legs, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, pressing down into whatever surface you have, hands, shins, or floor. Roll the shoulder heads back, draw the belly in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rides the breath all the way up, firm legs, arms reach up. As you exhale, swan dive once again. Hands go back down. Inhale, come part way up. Draw the belly in, shoulder heads back. It's as though I'm really trying to almost tip forward, but keep my heels glued down. As I exhale, I'm going to plant my hands, step back with the right foot, going into that lunge position again. Feet firmly rooted. Arms are going to swing back. This time, if you like, either keep those fingertips up or bring those palms together. Extend through the collarbones. Extend through this back heel. Push through the front heel. Draw the belly in away from the front thigh. Take a deep inhale in. Reach those knuckles up a little more. Exhale, releases. Hands go down. You move into your down dog. Now you can stay here in down dog if you wish. You can inhale, come with me, flowing. Those of you who are new to yoga, really focus on maybe dropping your knees today. Works your abs more. Why not? So feel yourself pull forward. Feel the face not drop. Feel it pull back. As you lower halfway down, extend those legs, press the feet. Up dog, moving slowly through your poses. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg goes high. Exhale, right foot comes all the way up in between hands. So if it doesn't make it up by those fingertips, use one of your blocks. Grab that foot, bring it up so you have knee to heel alignment. Inhale, you can keep your fingers down. You can reach them back, or you can go to that odd interlace. Notice my chin tucks, the shoulders move back, my feet press down. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, releases the hands down, steps forward. Take those feet wide. Exhale, forward fold. And so some of you will enjoy clasping your elbows. Some of you might even enjoy a little tension on the back of your neck. So notice I interlace my fingers Put it right there at the base of the skull. And give myself a little traction. Wonderful. Release the hands down. Put the head on a swivel. Nod it yes. Shake it no. Maybe a little maybe, right? From here, bend the knees, lay the chest on the thighs, push the floor away, roll the upper spine as you come to standing. All right, guys. Moving on. So from here, we're going to continue on, keeping the shoulders down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Make sure your second toe is forward at a 12 o'clock. Inhale, come halfway up. Hands on shins, floor, or blocks. I'm pretty short. I'm going to put my fingers down today. Exhale, hands go down. Step back with that left foot once again. On your inhale, you're going to really lengthen here. Feel that belly pull away from the thigh as you exhale. Take those arms back, reach back. Those of you who want to interlace once again, really opening those shoulder heads. Take a deep inhale in. Spin the back heel down. On your next inhale, come up. And so now I'm coming up. I'm trying to take my chest forward. I'm trying to root through my back heel, trying to move my heart towards the front of the mat as those knuckles travel down that back leg. So once again, does it feel as though you have this position going on? And if you need to double check in your back bend, take your fingers back, draw that chin back as though that the jawline is pressing towards your hands. Take another deep inhale in. Keep that head position. As you exhale, let's come into our humble warrior. Some of you will lay your shoulder onto the thigh. Some of you will come down towards the earth. Some of you will enjoy a little bit of a restorative. And if you want to do that, place that head down. In through the nose, out through the nose. Wonderful. Drop those hands down. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Take your hand onto the floor or blocks. Roll the shoulder heads back. Notice I am going to leave my hand on my front knee. As I put my hand on my front knee, I am rolling the rib cage to look at the sky. Strong back leg, inhale. Notice that the shoulders are coming down. Take that right hand, bring it behind your head. Start to keep the chin tucked. Move everything back, press back as we were doing before for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice and easy. Release, move your blocks out of the way. Find your down dog. You will either flow or stay here in your down dog. Child's pose is always appropriate. Notice when I'm coming into my up dog, I look up last so I can get the most out of my upper back bend. Wonderful. We're going to inhale the left leg up high. Exhale as left foot steps in between hands. From here, we're going to inhale, look forward. Exhale, let's go ahead and take our hands onto our blocks or the floor. Straighten that front leg. Curl the chin into chest. Notice I'm high up on my back heel. My front toe presses down. On my next inhale, I'm going to bend the knee. Drop into that low lunge once again. Draw the belly in. Feel the belly come off that front thigh. Back of the neck is long. And then on your next exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale comes partway up. Exhale folds again. Inhale rides the breath all the way to the top. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back. Other side. So really Get strong in that back foot, really load that back leg. Decide where you want to hang out, either fingertips down, shoulder heads back, arms back, or braid the fingers. How strong, how long from that back heel. Squeeze those upper inner thighs, pull that belly in. Your mat smells really bad. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pivoting the back foot down. You might have to shift around so that you can move chest forward, keeping that back pinky toe rooted. Now, once again, how strong can your back leg be? Can you pull everything back? If you need a reminder of the energy, take the fingers back. Right. Now, feel that whole movement start from your back heel. Come up through your body as though you're shining a heart light through that chest, through that ceiling. And then keeping that posture. As you drop down, you may drop the shoulder onto the thigh. You may drop down to a block. Try not to let your butt kick out, you know. Hi, guys. So I'm looking at my thigh, and it's pressing towards my back heel, right? Take another deep breath in. Wonderful. Place those hands down. Move back through your down dog if you choose to flow. Decide which way keeps your shoulders and neck long. That means dropping to your knees so you can really focus on that neck. Do so. Straightening the legs. Now notice I'm curling up slowly, then the head goes back. Exhale down. Allow the right leg to float to sky. Let the right leg land. Up in between the hands. Make sure you have knee to heel alignment. Once again, get strong, long through that back leg. And then exhale, you're going to bow. High up onto the ball of the back foot. Chin's tucked. Bring the back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins or on floor or blocks, halfway lift. Get your little Betty Boop going. Exhale, fold. Ride the breath all the way up. Inhale. And then exhale is going to drop the hands along the sides. So we're going to do one balance pose today. We are going to do dancer, right? So I see dancer done a couple ways. The one way I do not want you to do it is when you reach back and grab your foot. Notice how my thumb is still up, but I've rotated. And my shoulder head is actually angling forward. When you grab for your dancer, you want to open up as though you're serving a platter and then put the top of the foot in it. What happens is that people do that and they flip and grab. So be very aware of that. Starting on, here, let's go ahead and start with our problem child. Start on your left foot because it's our fun foot, right? So open up your right hand, take the top of the foot into the right hand. If you cannot grab that, you can actually grab the outside of the foot, roll over the toes until your thumb and your toe comes together, right? Knees together, left arm high. So don't let the knee go off your mat. As you press this foot into your right hand, think about trying to straighten the leg. Then that will cause the tension on your bow, right? And so how much can you lift upward for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice and easy, let it down. Wonderful, 2 sides, not my fault. Let it be a shoulder opener. Let it pull your shoulder out of the ear. Take the left hand, open it up. Grab the inside of the foot. If you cannot do that, grab the outside. Roll over the tips of the toes until your big toe and your thumb come together. Knees come together. Right arm up to the sky. Press the top of this left foot back. Try to straighten that left leg. Take an inhale in. Exhale out. Deep inhale in. And exhale, release. Wonderful. Shake it out. Little Tibetan drum. So notice you don't have to go deep, deep, deep into your dancer. What are you focusing on? I rather stay up and get the back bend and the shoulder opening rather than going really deep or pulling the foot to the back of the head. We have different ways to work different poses. You choose. Choose your own adventure yoga, right? All right, guys. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and come down to our mat. This is my other favorite pose. So actually, that's what I want to do today. So if you have big blocks, you can use big blocks. I like this nice setup where it is nice and rounded for my arch or for my heels. Set your blocks up so that they are hip distance apart. I am going to put the back edge where my heel is, arch onto this, spread my toes, very important. Knees are hip distance apart. I'm gonna push through those heels to lift up those hips, crawl the shoulders underneath me, and bind once again. So as I spread my toes here and push through the heels, whoop, push too hard. Push down through the heels. I want to feel as though the hip pointers are moving up. My knees are drawing together and my shoulders are pressing down. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale. Deep inhale in. And exhale, takes the arms out. Continue to keep those knees aligned as you lower one vertebrae at a time. Very good. Bring the knees into chest, rock left and right. We're going to do that again. This time you're going to take that odd interlace. So press the feet down. So you really want to feel as though you're rooting down to lift up. A lot of people just jam their hips into the air. We're trying to use the back side of our body to lift us up. So as I push down, I'm really rooting, feeling as though my knees are even pressing down here. From here, I'm gonna crawl my shoulders even deeper, interlace those fingers, odd interlace, trying to work those pinkies down. If you have the pinkies down, take that bottom pinky, tuck it in so that both pinkies are equally on the ground. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And release those arms. One vertebrae at a time. Really articulate through the spine. Right. Even down to that low back. And then bring in a happy baby. From here, I'm going to take the soles of my feet together. Actually, I'm going to keep those here. So I'm going to bring my soles of the feet together and come into butterfly here. If this is too intense for you, you can take the feet onto the floor and then take your blocks right up underneath the edges of your hips. That will keep the opening of the knees from being too intense. I'm going to take my right hand, lift my head. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back. Good class, Mary, right? And notice my elbow is right alongside of my head. I'm gonna let my head turn off to the left. And just take a breath, feel the stretch through the shoulders, the inner hips. I'm going to take this back deeper again. Now, if your right elbow is kind of floating off the mat, you can take your left hand, give it a little press down, or even reach over your head to intensify the stretch through the shoulder itself. Take a deep inhale. Retain the breath. And exhale, release. Allow the right hand to come out. Lift up, tuck that left arm. Give yourself a pat on the back. Nobody else will. Right. Let your head fall off to the side. If you want a little added juice in there, you can allow the right hand to grasp a hold of the left elbow. Allowing the breath to roll in through the nose and out through the nose. Lifting the head, releasing the hand, allowing the knees to come together, pull them into your chest, rock left or right, forward and back, whatever feels good to you. And then I'm going to ask you to extend your legs over your block. I'm going to angle mine just a little bit, like cars driving away from each other, so that it lines up with the back of my thigh a little more. And from here, I'd like you to just gently roll over and take that right hand underneath your back, up in between the shoulder blades like we did earlier, right? And then roll onto your back again. That'll be intense, right? Take your head, turn it towards the opposite shoulder. Take a deep inhale in. Retain the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all go. Let it deflate like a balloon, letting all its air gently flow away. Do one more of those. Take an extra little sip of air, like topping off your tank. Now hold as long as comfortable. Don't feel stressed or forced to hold the breath. Just feel like, oh, it's time to let the breath go. See how long you can do that. And then you're going to bring your foot in, roll gently over to the side. Swing that arm out, bring it across your chest like we did in the beginning of class. If you want a little more, you can braid those arms, that right arm on top, and let it come eagle arms over your head. So whichever one is your friend today. All right, yet another one. Roll over onto your side. Take that top arm, tuck it in behind your back, get it up in between the shoulder blades, and roll onto the back. Some of you might notice a little wrist tension. So let's talk about tension and discomfort. Discomfort in yoga class is one thing, pain is another. So if you have pain, back off your poses. Discomfort, it's challenging, it's good for you, right? So once again, we're gonna take that deep breath in. We're gonna retain it for as long as comfortable. It's not holding the breath, it's retaining the breath. Different thought processes. When you let it go, you feel that melting in the shoulder head. We're gonna do one more of those. This time we're topping off our tank, right? So take that deep breath in. One more little inhale. Pause in the breath. And then feel your body fall into the earth. As the exhale falls out of the body. Easily rolling over onto the side, bringing the arm out, either across your chest with a gentle pull with the opposing palm, or that arm on top as you braid the arms, dropping into an eagle wrap across the top of the chest. Wonderful. All right, guys. Last but not least. So we have our little setup. You can do these on, excuse me, you can do this on blocks. I like the rollers, all right? And I like a little extra height. Some of you might want even more height. It's up to you. You could put a full block underneath this. So imagine your blocks are cars, right? And they're gonna drive into each other, right? But they stop a little bit. So there's about, like, they're driving towards each other and there's just a little gap there. What we're doing is we're gonna lay forward and we're gonna put these right here on our deltoids, right? So when I lay down onto the floor, the weight of my chest is gonna pull through these blocks and I'm gonna feel an opener in my chest, right? So the cars are driving in, right? And look, you're gonna have to adjust. Don't just assume it's in the right spot at the first go, right? And so I'm gonna snuggle in. I'm gonna get those deltoids. And notice I'm rolling my thumbs up a little bit as I take my hands back. I could honestly say that for me, I would probably like a little more height. Let me grab this. Just simply because I have a lot of flexibility in my shoulders, and so having some more height would be very beneficial to me right now. All right, let's stack these up. Oh, here, let's bring this out. We'll just make it super fun, right? So here I am, bringing those thumbs up. The little cars are driving in. Very good. And just letting that chest drop down, feeling those shoulder heads roll back. Big breaths in. Yeah. And if your head loosens up, you can even lose that block. Allowing my breath to get deeper, more broad. And one more breath here. Good job. We're going to come up before we settle into our meditation, just because it feels so good and I like to work. So you can bring everything together. Look, if you want the shorter setup, you can do this on just a regular block, but really high is gonna get into my shoulders pretty deeply. So I'm gonna bring my elbows together. You can actually do this on your mat with your elbows on the mat. I'm gonna let my head rest on this little roller as the palms come in prayer behind my neck. I'm gonna start to feel these shoulders drop down. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, release. Deep inhale in. Exhale, soften. Deep inhale in. And exhale, soften. And guys, go ahead and come up. All right, well, that was fun. We're going to go into a meditation. I know if some of you are going into lunch, then you might have to skip out on us. But if you are able to join me for meditation, that's what we're going into next. You'll notice that, and you can, like I said, you can do some of these things with blocks. This is just a really nice setup with the rollers. Notice that I have a half round on a half block, and then I have the other half round on the floor. What I'm looking for is these pockets of these shoulders to drop back in between the negative space. So as I move into my meditation, you can lay flat on the floor too. It's up to you. But what I want is it to feel as though those shoulder heads are dropping back once again. This roller is just touching the very bottom tips of those shoulder blades. And then this is allowing that chin to drop back into that throat chakra. You should feel nice and open through your chest. palms facing up. Do any last little wiggles that you need. If this is not completely relaxing for you for meditation, either adjust or move flat onto your back. And so as we settle in, get all your little wiggles and fidgets out. Open and close the jaw lightly. And let's just notice the rise and fall of the chest. Nothing to do here except pay attention. Can you focus the breath into the low lungs, keeping the shoulders relaxed with each inhale. And the jaw is loose, tongue is floating in the mouth. And so just follow your breath as it fills your belly, your low lungs, your mid lungs, and just barely comes to the top, right there below the collarbones. Don't allow the inhale to bullfrog to the neck. And then as you exhale, you're going to feel it move from just below the collarbones to the mid lungs, low lungs, sides of the waist, and bowl of